lies, threats, intimidation, and personal attacks. Game on. Here comes the second wave strategy. Cars.com is what we're talking about. We're talking about the movement that I have instituted to reform Cars.com and a lot of the other vendors we're dealing with. And this can be an informal video. There's a thunderstorm outside. You're going to hear some lightning and thunder crashing. Can't help it. But I'm just going to have a conversation with the viewers on this video. Truth, facts, evidence. I have stayed 100% on the issues. They can't win on the issues because the issues are finding them guilty as charged. So what's happening here? All of a sudden, there's a group of bloggers and a group of industry insiders starting to attack me personally. Okay, I'm wearing a baseball hat, gold chains, and $100,000 worth of jewelry on my hands. Yep, that's a fact. It's part of a personal persona. It's part of branding that I've created over the years. It's pretty tongue-in-cheek. People that know me know I don't take all that seriously. It's part of my personal brand. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. But all of a sudden, they started doing it personally. Some of these little blogs that really don't have a lot of influence in the industry, but they're starting to be quoted elsewhere. And they're starting to take me on personally instead of taking on the issues. Because Cars.com and the other vendors that we're talking about can't take it if it's just the issues, because they lose on the issues. They are wrong. Everyone attacking me, without exception, is financially tied in somehow to Cars.com. Think about that. Every one of them has a financial reason for attacking me and this movement. You know, it's amazing to me, most of them are non-car people that have never been in our business. They come from other industries, you know. It's amazing to me that they are coming and the ones that were into business. I've talked to people that know them. They weren't very good at it. That's why they're bloggers. You know, like I say, I work every month of my life in real dealerships with real salespeople, real customers. I desk deals in the desking department. I take phone ups. I work in the BDCs. I do F&I to this day. I work in real dealerships with real people. I'm as relevant and up to date as anybody in the industry. But once again, the personal attacks, old school. Well, I've got a lot of people that know better. They're bashing me regularly by name. I've never mentioned any of these people specifically, but they've all named me in their personal insults. Most recently, all of a sudden, there appears a guy named John Duian from Upshift Digital. He shows up with a counter blog. Okay, no problem. I can take criticism. But first of all, he says he isn't tied into Cars.com. But then, after a couple people on the blog question him, he says, oh, I used to be tied in with Cars.com. And then with a little farther investigation, he says, oh, they are still a client of mine. These people can't tell the truth to save their lives. In June of last year, and I want to quote him, Mr. Duian said in his own blog, as a former member of the Cars.com family from the very beginning, this information again makes me wonder what is going on to become of our purple friend, as the company appears to be stagnant compared to Auto Trader. As a former member of the Cars.com family from the very beginning, this information makes me wonder what is going to become of our purple friend, as the company appears to be stagnant compared to Auto Trader. Now that's John Duian, the guy that's attacking me fervently on behalf of Cars.com. In 1 year, his story has changed tremendously. This guy is talking out of both sides of his head. And I don't care how many of his secretaries or personal staff he puts on the blog, it doesn't wash. Now, I'm not going to attack these people back by name. I just reputed something that John Duian said, but I'm not going to attack him or insult him. or any of the bloggers, these little dweebs that are coming on. Did I say dweebs? I'm sorry. These people that are coming on attacking me personally. I've never mentioned any of them by name. I've never mentioned their little blogs by name or their little trade shows by name. Understand that. But every one of them is financially tied into Cars.com. George Bernard Shaw once said, "Never wrestle with a pig. You'll only get dirty and the pig likes it." Well, these pigs are attacking me from every angle as a strategy to discredit what we're doing with Cars.com. I have only stated the facts and shown the evidence. I've only named names when it was related to personal phone calls or things that were relevant, but I've never insulted these people or said bad things about them. It's all coming at me. Look through the hundreds, if not thousands of pages we've written on these issues, and I defy you to find where I've really jumped up and insulted one of these people, although they've named me from day one. Now, last year, a lot of you that know me know I had a campaign with TrueCar. TrueCar was doing some things that I felt were not in the dealer's best interest. I mobilized the troops. We got the dealer associations involved. Somehow the dealer associations got the legislators involved, and TrueCar lost $78 million before they could sneeze. And you know what? Something wonderful happened. TrueCar changed. Scott Painter, the founder of TrueCar, he and I have had personal meetings. We've discussed, and they have got a model now that I'm not going to say is completely 100% dealer friendly. I don't endorse any vendor. But they have really made the effort and are continuing to make the effort. I spoke to one of the vice presidents of TrueCar just last week. And I said, look, the dealers have a problem with this issue. He called me back. He had his programmers on the line with us, and we made changes in what they were doing. I have not received any of that from Cars.com. Trust me. All they want to do is tell you why they're doing what they're doing from their viewpoint. They have no intention to change, and what they're doing is ludicrous. It started out back around the NADA convention when I got a lot of dealers calling me, and I get hundreds of contacts from dealers a week, a day. You'd be amazed, 500 or 600 people a day will hit my Facebook page. I've got a lot of communication with car dealers, and it was about road loans. Evidently, Cars.com had road loans appearing on the dealers' pages. And when the consumer clicked on road loans, it referred them to another dealer that was a subscriber to road loans. Oh, we went off on that. I met with Alex Vetter and Mitch Golub at the NADA convention. We had a pleasant conversation. I thought the issue was done, where road loans was not going to continue to export dealers' customers that they paid for to another dealer because they subscribed to road loans, which a dealer has no interest in. Guess what? That situation still exists. Road loans is still exporting customers, not just Cars.com. Auto Traders got them too. But right now, I'm concentrating on the issue at hand, Cars.com. And then, oh my gosh, one of my dealers in Chicago sends me some screenshots that when a customer clicked on his car on Cars.com, guess what? They were serving up an email with 8 additional units of similar cars of dealers in his market. And then all the dealers, I put it on my Facebook page, and lo and behold, I started getting screenshots from dealers all over the country that Cars.com was remarketing after the customer made a selection. Okay, before you know it, I got a call with Alex Vetter and Linda Bartman. That was April 26th. That was a Friday, a conference call. And I'd already started blogging about it. And I felt they were condescending, and I felt they talked down to me. They were explaining to me. I think their figure was like 58% of consumers continue to shop after the initial click. Therefore, they needed to remarket to those customers, even though the initial dealer was still working the deal. I said, wrong. If I buy a hamburger at McDonald's and I throw the son of a gun in the garbage can, it was still my hamburger to throw away, and I don't want McDonald's remarketing my hamburger. Same difference. That was the dealer's lead as soon as the customer clicked on it, and that's it. They had no right to remarket to them. Well, they staunchly said they did until I mobilized the tribe. But something else happened. When I put up the initial blogs, there were 3 phone calls, very significant phone calls that went back and forth after I spoke to Alex Vetter and Linda Bartman. 2 of them from bloggers and trade show people. People that do trade shows, which incidentally, Cars.com incidentally sponsors those blogs and those trade shows. Now don't get me wrong. Anybody can sponsor my internet battle plan as an exhibitor, a sponsor, and even a speaker. But that does not give them amnesty to do bad things. I would, even if they sponsor one of my events and they misbehave with the dealers, I'll still call them out on it, even though they're sponsoring my events. Sponsoring my events does not give you amnesty, and I'm not going to support you strictly because you sponsor my events. My gosh, if Cars.com right now wants to be a sponsor of Internet Battle Plan, big money. If you want to do that, you can do that, but that's not going to give you amnesty against me telling dealers what you're up to. Cars.com, TrueCar's talking about a sponsorship. I am all for that. I'm not going to put one over the other, but that does not give anybody amnesty if they're mistreating dealers. Dealers are first with me always. But these people with a pious hidden agenda, some joker puts up a blog, we're nurturing leads. What kind of wimpy ass talk is that? We're nurturing leads. Quit it. You're bullying me. I'm not bullying anybody. I haven't mentioned any of these people by name. They're coming right out and bullying me, for heaven's sake. It's these pious, self-righteous people that are making all kinds of money from Cars.com, defending them all of a sudden doesn't wash with me. Okay, April 29th, the 3rd blogger shows up with a phone call with Cars.com. And all of a sudden, the campaign is on, the counter-campaign's on. All of a sudden, they're coming up against us. Never wrestle with a pig. You want to get dirty. The pig likes it. So remarketing after the fact, they stopped doing that. Get this. On May 2nd, Linda Bartman from Cars.com throws up the white flag. She says, she cuts a video. Oh, we didn't communicate well with our dealers. We're going to stop remarketing to your customers after the initial selection. You deal, and I'm going to paraphrase her here because I don't remember exactly what she said. You're stupid, we're smart was what I got out of it. Cars.com was doing the right thing, nurturing leads. Wimpy language. Anyway, we're nurturing leads, and we think that's a good idea, but we're going to discontinue because you didn't like it. And my interpretation of what you said is you're stupid, we're smart. Then on May 4th, a side issue comes to light. Cars.com is operating dealer-bashing websites, ypaysticker.com and carpricesecrets.com. Sites that are blatantly anti-dealer, and they don't put their name on them. They got them registered to some LLC, but we prove they own them and operate them. They're operating dealer-bashing websites. Well, they admit it. They came out and they said, well, there are people that don't like car dealers, and we want to sell them too, and we want to continue the negative stereotype of car dealers, much like Edmunds.com with Confessions of a Car Salesman that's still up on their site. Go to Edmunds.com, look at Confessions of a Car Salesman, see how your vendors are bashing you. All you've got to do to prove what I'm saying is put your VIN numbers of your used car inventory into Google. Google your inventory and look at the hundreds of lead farm sites that Cars.com and other vendors, AutoBytel, all of them are putting your inventory on. This is not good. That's when CarGurus jumped up. All of a sudden, we found out that a lot of Cars.com leads were coming from a third-party, fourth-party website called CarGurus.com. And this is my opinion. Did I say my opinion? These people are pure evil. They're rating your cars. Great deal, good deal, fair deal, bad deal. Guess what? I think they're biased, and I think those ratings are slanted on purpose. That's just what I perceive. I don't know that to be fact. I haven't got proof of it yet, but I got some pretty strong smoking gun evidence. One of my dealers recently put in a Cars.com inquiry, and all of a sudden he's getting CarGurus responses through cars.com. Let me restate that. I said it wrong. Okay, one of my dealers found his unit on CarGurus.com. That's the way it went down. He found one of his units on CarGurus.com. He clicked on that unit. And he gets a response, autoresponder response from Cars.com. So Cars.com evidently had given his inventory to CarGurus.com. In the meantime, he gets another email from CarGurus.com offering 20 additional car selections similar to his car. And his car was number 17 on those selections. Here's some other units in your market you might consider buying. The first 15 units of the 17 before he showed up were from CarMax in another zip code, not even in his own zip code. I have seen what looks to me on CarGurus like a lot of CarMax bias. I haven't got stats to prove it, but when you start looking at CarGurus, look how well rated some of these CarMax cars are, and they seem to be coming up above everybody else's. Could that be a smoking gun? I don't know. CarMax, CarGurus. Well, dealers left and right are starting to jump off of CarGurus. These people, in my estimation, pure evil. You should not have your cars on. That's just my personal opinion. If you like them, have at it. But let me tell you, CarGurus, HomeNet, Dealer Specialties, Auto Bytel. I'm told that GM and Chrysler are all putting your units on CarGurus. I had a talk with Phil Dupree the other day. And, you know, Phil Dupree, decent guy, Auto USA, the Auto Nation referral service. He's using CarGurus. And, you know, all we're looking for here is transparency from our vendors. If they're going to do this and they're going to send our customer inventory to all these farm sites that are diluting our local search, we want complete transparency and opt-in, opt-out individually on every one of them. Cars.com refused to tell me who their vendors and affiliates are. Now, it's kind of interesting. When they were at the Digital Dealer Convention this month, guess what? They did a webcast to all their field agents with talking points. I was in the audience on that webcast. You think I'm getting all this information from the outside? I've got people on the inside of Cars.com who totally disagree violently with what they're doing to their dealers, and they're feeding me information. Where do you think I'm getting all this information? Quit it. There's a lot of Cars.com representatives that are talking the talking points, and they're well rehearsed, but they don't agree with it. You know. Now, a lot of these vendors have their own trade shows. I have a trade show, Internet Battle Plan. They've got their own trade shows. And if you look at the leading automotive industry publication online, every page is sponsored by Cars.com, it seems. The conflict of interest in getting the information to the dealers is evident. They're throwing so much money around at these trade shows and industry publication. Excuse me. It's incredible what's happening here. But the intimidation, the personal mentions, I don't care. I get a kick out of wearing the jewelry, the baseball hat, the gold chains. It's all tongue-in-cheek. It's part of my branding. But now they've gotten nasty and dirty about it. And I had not mentioned these people by name. And I'm telling the tribe, Google up your own VIN numbers. Look at every one of these little pirate websites is marketing to your customer after the car.com lead. That's why AutoTrader, in the statistics I have seen, gives you not as many leads as cars.com, but they're closing twice as much in many instances. And the reason AutoTrader's a better buy right now, and I'm not endorsing AutoTrader, you're next. But guess what? AutoTrader leads are producing a lot more sales than, percentage-wise on the stats that I have seen. Now, by the way, there are some in your pocket people that are going to come out and show some stats that Cars.com closes a lot better than they do. That's not true. They got some people, their own in your pocket experts, that are going to say, oh, look at these stats. We've got a bot that does this. No, they don't. I mean, it's all financially driven. Understand that. But I'm telling you right now that you've got to make your own decision. Google up your own inventory and put the serial numbers in and watch what sites come up. And then click on your own units with a fake name and a fake email address that goes to your laptop, not your dealership, and start seeing all the aftermarket letters they send you. CarGurus sent one of the Car.com customers 161 units to select from that were similar to their unit in the same market after Cars.com sent them the autoresponder that was a Cars.com lead, but it really came off CarGurus because it was our test lead. We're getting this over and over again. Spread the word. Let the dealers know that these vendors, they're buying and selling leads through the Detroit Trading Company. It's a big slop fest out there. They're regurgitating, selling secondhand leads to all of you. You're all being duped, and Cars.com is not a good value for the money paid because they're selling you secondhand regurgitated leads from pirate websites that are going to try to recapture and remarket your customer after Cars.com gave you the lead. Don't buy it. Jim Ziegler, I'm doing a little personal rant, but I'm getting a little irritated that they've taken it off the issues and they're taking it to me personally. If you'll remember back during the Cars.com debate last year, somebody posted my son's mugshot on the internet when he got arrested for driving without a license, 21 years old. So what? What kid hasn't done something like that? But they've made it personal. We stomped all over that. Well, they're coming after me personally right now. I'm looking for the tribe to mobilize and just tell them what you think. Stick to the issues.